I think a lot of people underestimate the challenges that assimilation here in the United States present. My grandparents and my parents made a deliberate choice to resist that kind of assimilation. What that's given me is a sense of self, a sense of community, and likewise when I enter professional life, I have that community with me. I am tasked with representing that community even though I don't really have the right to, right? I'm just one person as part of a broader collective.
I was born in Ukraine and then I immigrated about 20 years ago with my, at that time, 5-year-old daughter. I'm a medical doctor, so I pursued my career in medicine here as well. It took me a few years of working, studying, and caring for both of us to overcome all the obstacles. But it made me more resilient. The challenges that I had to overcome became an opportunities that kind of presented themselves and taught me how to not to be afraid, how to encourage others, how to take chances, and how to learn the best from life and people that surround me.
Being an immigrant from Ukraine made big changes in my personal life. In the 5 last years, I chose to help Ukrainian people. I chose to help wounded Ukrainian soldiers. We start to bring Ukrainian culturally unique people, nationally recognized people to United States and promote Ukrainian culture as well. So for me personally, it's a huge thing. Ukrainian soldiers, when we bring them over to US, it's such a pleasure to see how Americans support their army and how they thankful me helping Ukrainian army.
In general, it's a known fact that a lot of people immigrate to the United States to find a better life. And the fact that I decided to do that, knowing that I will have to work twice as hard as local people here, that's already an indicator that I wanted to find a better life here. Having an experience from a different country, having a different mindset, different traditions, all that contributes to you as a person, to your development. And then you make your decisions in your life based on the experience, not only that you gain here, but also in different country, in different environment. That helps a lot.
To be an immigrant, it's a very big experience to make myself to be stronger, to work more harder on yourself, in all your character's parts, and also to work harder physically, to earn some money, to get more time to do what you want to do. To be immigrant in USA, it's to be, first of all, to be lucky, because this country is, I think it's one of the best countries for immigrants.
In my opinion, the main goal of being immigrant, with that step, you receive some unstoppable and fearless spirit. You actually can conquer many things, and you're willing to try more willingly new things and challenge yourself, and also earn strong faith and belief in your own capabilities. Immigration is like a journey that never ends, and if you are really lucky, you can gain your wholesomeness. And that's why it's very important to preserve your authenticity. That's what makes us richer. That's what gives us advantage. We came from extremely rich and bright culture, and with welcoming American culture, we still having all these roots that makes us much more soulful and unique.
If you don't hide your ethnicity or the exposure that gives you, it gives you a very large relative advantage vis-a-vis the native population. And what I mean by that, if you have had exposure across many cultures and historical events, it allows you to create a situation with the people you deal with easier, to create a sense of rapport. And when you have a sense of rapport with people, then they tend to listen to you and they appreciate what you say.
I was always thinking that I was supposed to do something big in my life. I took this opportunity. I came to this country and it was really tough for first couple of years. I was working really hard. I didn't have any friends here. I didn't have family. I was working at 3 jobs to save some money for the first car, for the good apartment. Sometimes I even was thinking to come back to Ukraine. What was motivating me to stay here and work hard and move forward, that I was seeing a lot of opportunities here. And I had dreams that I had from my childhood. I knew that I can realize myself here, I can prove myself here. I'm really grateful for this experience because it made me stronger, better, and more successful man.
The United States of America is open to all immigrants from all countries. It's basically a country that was a country of immigrants. It gives you an awful lot of opportunity, but you have to work to get these opportunities. So I'm grateful to my parents for having instilled with me that feeling. And it was very nice when you come here into the United States that there are these immigrant communities like the Ukrainian community, where you have the Ukrainian churches, the cultural organizations, the museums, the institutes, the youth groups, because you can live and still consider yourself of Ukrainian descent, but still be patriotic and supportive of the freedom that we enjoy here in the United States.
So being the son of immigrants, I think, helped me in a lot of different ways. Besides just motivating me to work hard, it also gave me a great deal of resilience to things because I knew the sorts of things that my parents and grandparents had gone through, the life-threatening situations, warfare, living in the forest and fighting a guerrilla war against the enemy, leaving all your possessions behind and fleeing to other countries. So little minor problems that I might have encountered in my life, I always took those in juxtaposition to what they had undergone, and I think it helped me not get too worried about minor obstacles in my life compared to that. The other thing that it really does is it expands your horizons, and especially because as my life went on, I visited Ukraine and I continued to develop my understanding of Ukrainian culture. It really allowed me to see life from 2 different vantage points, because life in the United States and life out of the United States is very different, and people view their lives, possessions, family, all those things from very different vantage points. And when you get to see 2 extreme vantage points and then you can sort of bring them together and create your own vantage point based on those 2 extremes, it really gives you a kind of depth of appreciation of the world that I don't think you can get just growing up in one country, one culture, and not at least somehow familiarizing yourself with what goes on in the rest of the world.
Both here in America, and I think to a certain extent among Ukrainians, there's a sense that life's challenges are our own to face. Having moved through 2 different worlds, or worlds colliding, I am truly blessed and privileged to realize that every experience doesn't happen in isolation. A lot of the same things that my family has gone through, other groups here in the United States have also gone through, or around the world. I can't emphasize enough how important speaking another language is, or having a worldview that is alternative, territorial conquest of Ukraine, and my family being caught up in that, and understanding the flip side of that on the other side of the world. I'm very grateful that that perspective didn't need to be presented to me in a book, but through the stories of my parents and my grandparents and great-grandparents. My name is Julian Haida.
Maria Dmitrievka-Panyak.
Irina Disipio.
Vitaly Kutny.
Zirema Hrush.
Sofia Mikuláš Georgiev.
Mikola Kucherha.
Alexander Dovgal.
Bogdan Vatral.
Myron Lewitsky.
I'm a journalist.
I'm a medical doctor and also a master's in public health doctor.
I'm a head of nonprofit Revived Soldiers Ukraine.
Currently work as the president and CEO of Self-Reliance Federal Credit Union in Chicago.
My art name is Novoroshkin. I'm artist.
I'm a founder and executive director of Ukrainian Women in Business non-for-profit organization Chicago.
I'm the head of Ukrainian Genocide Famine Foundation, the USA, and also the Petliura Fund.
I'm the president of the company DVL Express.
I was the president, chief executive officer of Self-Reliance Ukrainian American Federal Credit Union for 38 years.
I'm an ophthalmologist and also one of the owners of Trizub Ukrainian Kitchen.